Hi there and welcome back to the bar. This is episode 3 in this series, which is looking at the whole concept of the ability to sell and having the ability to sell when you're leading change programs. For me, it's an absolutely critical characteristic of a portfolio manager, a head of portfolio, program director, program manager, etc. Because actually we have to do it all of the time. We have to do it at the beginning of a program when we are essentially trying to get people involved, trying to draw them in and trying to engage them in the program. We have to do it when there are changes to the program, when we need additional funding or we need additional resources or we need a change to the scope. We are permanently having to sell. So the ability to sell for me is a key characteristic, and actually if you struggle with selling, I think it's always going to be difficult to deliver change programs effectively because they change so much by definition. So what we're looking at today and what I'm interested in just pursuing for a couple of minutes is the concept of simplifying what you're selling. So where you have a scope change or some additional funding or additional resources that you require, rather than selling, just simplify essentially what it is that you're selling. And the reason we do that is because it's much easier to buy when it is simple. So lower cost, lower risk, anything that takes risk out of it is good, because most people sitting around the table in the steering board are gonna be worried about putting their name against something that is risky and ultimately generates a negative impact on the program. And also it's just easier to buy into something that feels low risk, low cost. So the more cost and risk and complexity you can take out of what you're positioning as your solution, the better. So what that means is that where you need an additional 25 resources to do testing or whatever it might be on a major program, there will be some times when it is actually better to say, look, we think we may need as many as 25 resources, but all I'm asking you to sign up to at this stage is an additional 5 resources for 2 months, because actually that will enable us to prove the testing, the importance and the value of the testing before we make the bigger commitment to what we need downstream. And if you break it up that way, sometimes it's just easier. And if it's easier, you're likely to get it more easily signed off. And the more easily you get it signed off, the quicker you get your resources and the quicker you can keep your momentum moving forwards. So, and you can always upsell later. You can always move, once you've got that credibility because you've delivered that testing and you've had those 5 testers and they've done a great job and it's taken you to the next level, it's so much easier to go back and get an extra 10 testers or whatever it might be that you need. So my bar tip for the day is simplify what you're selling. Keep it as low cost and keep it as low risk as you possibly can, and you've got more chance of getting people around the table to vote for it. Good luck with it.